Hey YouTubers, Christopher Wanamaker here doing a updated, newer version for utility bill life hacks. This isn't just going to be just about utility bill life hacks. It's also going to be a little bit of emergency preparedness as well for if certain situations happen. So a natural disaster occurs and your electricity goes out, water goes out, heating goes out. And so what can one do to start thinking ahead to be prepared for those kind of situations, or because of the economic downturn, lots of people getting laid off and everything. What if you hit a financial hardship where you have money for like rent or mortgage and maybe food, but you don't really have money for utilities, or you're falling behind, and then utility companies start shutting off water, heating, and electric. So if you go ahead while you're doing okay financially, then it's a good time to get prepared and to start gathering certain types of preparedness for like water and water filtration, storage, and other electronic stuff and battery stuff and all that. So that way you can have your electricity or water or heating shut off, but yet you and your family members or pets or whatever can have everything that you pretty much need without using electricity, or without using the water shut off for a while until you get through that hardship and can save up some money to pay the bill and get the water turned back on. So, like they say, the more you prepare for emergency preparedness management, when hard times hit, natural disasters or financial hardships and things get shut off, you don't really have to worry about it much because you have backups. So, now I do have an older video that I go over a lot of other stuff for summer, winter, hints, tips, and tricks, utility bill life hack video. It will be labeled as utility bill life hacks old in a parentheses, and then this will be the newer version. So I might go over just a couple of things that I said in the last video on a few items, but the majority of it's going to be pretty new. So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? A variety of different ideas. First, we'll look into actual, utilities and what can one do to lower them if need be. So let's see. One thing of water, of course. Stop using so much water. Maybe not take showers as much. Instead of every day, maybe it's every other day, every couple of days, at least once a week. Hygiene is important, and then you get filters that make it where you put on your faucet, like I have, and make it where depending on the setting of the nozzle thing you have, maybe it's a solid stream, maybe it's a mist, it's a couple streams, and it filters out the water pressure, so you're not actually using as much. Even for Verizon, not too long ago I had, my plan with Verizon, so your phone company. You could switch over to cheaper things like here on Caleb Hammerlight, he says switch over to Helium, and it uses the same towers as T-Mobile. So, where there's a will, there's a way. Hopefully, as long as your phone is fully paid off, or maybe you don't even need a brand new smartphone, say from AT&T or Verizon. Maybe you can get one of the smartphones, from Walmart or something. Then you pay for a monthly subscription, $35-40 for minutes, and all that. If you got to go cheap, you got to go cheap. If you're below the poverty line, you get food stamps and SSI and all that. You can qualify for a government phone, and I think it's like $10 a month or something like that. For the actual phone plan. So there's a variety of things that one can do. One of the things that I did is that I was getting, everything's going up in price. So when it was going above $100 for the My Plan, I went ahead and switched over to prepaid. And the prepaid thing altogether is two different charges, like $55 for one thing and then $10 for another thing. I think the 55 is for the actual minutes, unlimited minutes thing, the prepaid plan that I'm doing, and then the $10 is for I have the Verizon Hum system in my car, and I believe that's what that's for. So I paid like 66 bucks altogether, just a hair under $66 per month. When if I stuck with my plan, it would have been over like 120, 130. So if you gotta, to tighten the notches on the belt, so to speak, where there's a will, there's a way, but you gotta do your homework research and ask questions and figure stuff out. Like auto insurance, something that I did, I was, like up in the, 80, $90 every 2 weeks. So you're talking 160 to $180 per month. Car insurance was going through the roof. So I went ahead and found out, I go talk to USAA, I go through the website, what different things can you do, and then I found out the Verizon Hum system is like a safety feature, as GPS location and other things. It can, it's like one of those microchip things that you put underneath the dash, and then the app connects to it, and it does diagnostics constantly. So if a new issue pops up, so there's safety features, and then I let my auto insurance through my bank know, and they actually took $10 a month off my auto insurance. But then more recently, I did they call them different things. They have different names, but like for USAA, my bank, they had Safe Pilot. So I downloaded the app. By downloading the app and having it on my phone and all that, automatically got 10% off of my auto insurance. And then depending over the next 6 month auto insurance term period, it will track my driving. Do I slam on the brakes and too hard, too quickly? Do I stop too quickly? Sometimes it's unavoidable to prevent an accident. And then the other times, it's am I fiddling with my phone? Do I answer a phone call while I'm in my car? They consider that distracted driving. Do I text? Am I grabbing my phone and moving it around, or is it in one spot, stationary on a phone mount in my car, so it's hands-free? I'm not holding it and moving it around and all that kind of stuff. So it's tracking over the next 6 months, and then I get a score out of 100. And if it's at 87 points or higher, then I get a full 30% off of my next 6 month term for my auto insurance. So when I first downloaded, got 10% off. The next 6 month term of it tracking my driving, I got like a score of like 83, 84, and so I got 26% off. No, it was 79. That's what it was. Read 79 out of 100, got 26% off, and then the next 6 month term was a 88, and then so I got a full 30% off, and I'm on track for this next 6 month term to get another 30% off. So that's saving me tons of money. To where instead of paying $80 to $90 every 2 weeks, I'm now paying $69.30 every 2 weeks. So military discounts, and then the Verizon Hum, and now the Safe Pilot, Auto Safe Pilot thing. They call it a variety of other things from different companies, but so they can track you and your phone and driving and speed and hard braking and all that kind of stuff. And if you're an overall really good safe driver, discipline, and not treating the highways or freeways like they're a racetrack and you have to get in front of everybody and cut people off, going around everybody as fast as humanly possible, and just flying by in the fast lane, the passing lane, then if you're an overall really safe driver, you can get cut down on your monthly auto insurance by taking part in that kind of stuff. So I'm starting to notice a lot of things, like with my Experian.com credit tracking system, and my mom's Roku smart TV channels. A lot of platforms are starting to change over to you have an option of paying a certain subscription per month. Or if you are willing to pay more up front right away in a single month, then they will they cut the cost. So what was it? Experian for an entire year is going to be $170. If I do just month per month per month, month after month, it was like $33. So if it's $33 per month for the whole year, it's like $396. But if I'm willing to pay $170 right up front, divide that by 12 months, it's like $14.17. So, so they're giving you the options of pay more now up front, one lump sum for a whole year, and you're saving money in the long run. So something to look into. Same thing with like ExpressVPN and all that. Internet, internet keeps going up. I got Comcast Xfinity, and this last a little over a year ago, the special of 50% off was going away. So I was like, can we do anything else and all this other kind of stuff? I want to try to keep my internet cost below $100. It was going to go up to like 130, 140 from like 80. And so what I did is the only thing they could really do, no like actual specials were going on at the time. So what I did is go ahead and I decreased what I pay for my internet speed to the next like 1 or 2 levels below what I was originally paying for. So it's a super high speed. I cut down on the speed. Maybe sometimes it like glitches a little bit, or it's a little slower. It might skip. If I'm watching a video, it might skip or something. But I can handle that. And instead of paying 130, 140 a month, I'm now paying like 96.32. Paying for electricity. That's pretty much the whole thing with hey, shut off lights when you're not using them and all that kind of stuff. I have some other ideas on that. We'll get to that. We went over insurance. So different things for utilities and all that. So, but when it comes to either natural disaster hits, electricity goes out, water goes out, or you're just hitting a financial hard time. I've seen this with certain people, certain friends and family members, say like my older brother. There have been multiple times where he's doing okay for a while, and then some hiccup pops up, some unexpected costs, and then water heater goes out or something, and he needs to pay a bunch of money to get it replaced or fixed. And so now he pays that. Now he's like, oh my God, I have to make a choice of pay my rent, my lot rent for my trailer, or or I can't pay all my utilities of water or electricity or something like that. And he has this weird ass idea of whatever is due right now, whatever is the more expensive cost. So a really high water bill or electric bill, and that's due like immediately. But the rent is not due for a week or 2 or 3 weeks. And it's like, no, having a roof over your head, paying rent or mortgage is always the most important. Why? Okay, you paid your water bill, you paid your electric bill. Good, your lights are on, your heat is on, your water is flowing, but you have been evicted from your home. You don't have shelter. So, the insects and stuff and bugs and whatever in your home are thanking you, but, a roof over your head always comes first. So that way, if you get preparedness items when you're doing better, then that's the time to start purchasing little items here and there of emergency ration food that could be stored in closets and food pantries and all that, or fill up water containers, water barrels, water bobs that you put in a bathtub. Or you get other devices and solar generators and all that kind of stuff. And then, hey, I can, they could shut off my electricity, they could shut off my water, and I have like a couple 100 gallons worth of water. Or, even if I, maybe you live near a restaurant or something, and then you have those few water jugs, water bottles, you go over there, a water fountain or a bathroom or something, you fill them up, you come back, and you refill your barrels and your water jugs and everything, and you refilled a little bit more. Maybe you do some rainwater, rain catcher or something like that. So there's all these different little things that I want to go over to give you guys ideas of what products and stuffs are out there that you should be looking to have on hand, whether it be for a natural disaster or financial hardship. And where you don't mind utilities getting shut off, but you have the things that you need while those utilities, one or a multitude, are shut off, you have things that you backups of water and other things that can, you know, provide for you for a while until maybe you go to work, you make some extra money, and you catch up on the bills that you fell behind that they shut off. So let's get into some things. One of the first things I can think of is let's do electricity kind of stuff. One of the first things is in my first video I showed off having a variety of different batteries. I had the rechargeable Energizer batteries, and I had a plug-in rechargeable box from my first video. I've done a little bit of an upgrade. I gave all of those to one of my brothers to have for emergency preparedness, and then so I got other things. I got the new pale blue lithium ion, and so here is just a prime example of what these are. They're like newer, higher quality and everything. This is a battery pack that's already pre-charged, and then when purchasing the pale blue batteries, you get these connectors that can connect 4 of these at the same time, and then you find the connector and you plug it in, and then it starts charging. So, and then these are, I believe, D's. D batteries. I got 2 of those. I got a bunch of these are double A versions. You can either get them from the Pale Blue website or Amazon as well. They sell them. And then I got a bunch of triple A's. I think about all my different electronics controllers or whatever that need batteries, and then I get as many as I need, and then a few extra. Those in, and then I think I got a few 9 volts as well that are being used in a couple of different things. So, and then getting backup battery packs, small versions for like smartphones or recharging your batteries or whatever. If your electricity is shut off, another thought is solar generators. But there are so many different brands out there, and there are different size ones. And I'm starting to do research on them because that's one big thing that I do not have is a solar generator. I'm trying to figure out the whole volts and wattage and all that kind of stuff, kilowatts per hour, and then what would I need, one for like my kitchen, for the fridge and everything, or plugging in the microwave or stove or my new wave oven. So one for the kitchen and then one for like the living room, maybe eventually one for my mom's bedroom for her TV and smartphone or a lamp or whatever. So, there's Jackery, there's Blue Eddy, there's Broe portable power station, there's Yoshino solid state power station, and they have small versions like $300 all the way to larger versions, 4,000 watt hours, $3,300 plus different size solar panels to go with them, 100 watt to 200 watt, and then you get adapter cables and all this other kind of stuff, and then there's with Anchor, the newer BioLite, backup by BioLite is what they call it, from the BioLite company, which is what this is from, and this as well, which I'll go over here in a minute. And pretty much BioLite's a 1.5 kilowatt, $2,200 each. 2 different versions of 15-hour up to a 30-hour. But the way it's unique, it's not like a big square box like Jackery ones are, or Blue Eddy, or all that. It's more like this. It's a unique design, thin shape. Not as more of a square. It's more of a rectangular. So like top 1/3 of this is cut off. And so you can put it, in between cabinets, top of a fridge, behind the fridge, hooked onto the wall, and then power goes out. And if your fridge is already hooked up to it, then it automatically kicks in and everything. And then, or you put it, in between the fridge and, a countertop cabinet, in between my computer desk and a stand or something behind. My TV, underneath or behind the computer desk, mounted to the wall, and my electronics are already hooked up to it. So it's a unique design from BioLite for like $2,200. So, and all the other ones are big, box of either, decent sized box ones, like double the size of this box, if not entire size of garbage cans, like 30, 35 liter garbage cans size on wheels. So there's so many of those. What I would really like to do is get a good, high quality, what will do the job that I need, a solar generator, and with some solar panels, and then get the Shine 2.0 wind turbine. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe it's Blue Eddy. They have designed some of their solar generators to work with the Shine 2.0 wind turbine. So you just got to get the proper cable connectors and then connect both of those. So maybe the sun might not be out, but it might be windy, and then you can use a wind turbine to recharge your solar generator. And at some point in time, even though it's going to be expensive, we're talking like probably $16,000-$18,000 worth. You have enough of these solar generators, not just one, but you have multiple. So when you have like the primary, that is now drained, and then you have a backup switching out while the primary is getting recharged. You have a primary and you have a backup. So that is the overall idea of that. But then you need to look into, okay, maybe you don't have a generator, or the generator finally goes out. What do you do in between that? You may need to get other light sources, little temporary ones that last several hours. Kind of like, for example, from BioLite, which is BIOLITE, the website. They started out with camp stoves, where you burn the sticks and twigs and wood pellets around you. They have battery packs connected to them, and then and then it was battery packs like this, but the size of a smartphone. And they have a variety of ones that are like $50 up to like $200 of those. Then they started with LED headlights, and then they have these like this is called a solar 100 light. So, and then you hold that button down and it can dim. That means it's fully dim, or then hit it and it brightens up. To max, it'll blink when it's fully bright. And then you can even, change the colors, and then it'll show you how charged it is. Green is it's fully charged. Yellow, it's halfway, and then red, it's really low and about to die. And there's a solar panel on the back. You have this little stand here, and then it has even a little hook so you can hang it on things. This is called Solar 100. I don't believe they make this model anymore. All of theirs are more like dome shapes, and anywhere from $50 to like $200. They also have some of the most comfortable headlamps with the micro USB plug-in batteries on the back of the head, with the LED light on the front. That's motion, and with multiple different high, low, and signal, and red light, and all that kind of stuff. So having all that kind of stuff and having them pre-charged and everything is a good thing to do. So, and then I could probably charge this with this as well, hook it all up and everything. So, and then for even more preparedness when it comes to electricity, is that there is this. This one is the Solar Home BioLite from BioLite, Solar Home 620. Then they have the 2.0 version now. It's a 625 Solar Home. And so what this is pretty much comes with a solar panel, multiple LED lights to, like if you have one of those screw-in hooks into the ceiling, you plant it, and it even has light switches, and the main box that you hook it all up to, battery pack with a AM FM radio that you can also hook up like a iPod to and play music, or hook up your phone and everything. So and then it's AM FM, so it's an emergency radio system, single solar panel to put it out somewhere and recharge it slowly, and all that. So and then unfortunately, and this is about $300 off of BioLite. The one thing that's really weird, comes with a solar panel, does not come with the AC power adapter plug. That is an extra $25. So for this whole set, for the 2.0 version on the website right now, it's $325. So that is a good thing to have as a backup. I mean, things are, it's a natural disaster, things are out, and, maybe you've just lost complete power, but you can check in with the radio and all that on top of having a high quality hand cranking emergency AM FM radio that's waterproof and has a light and maybe an alarm system and all that is good to have too. Get those off Amazon. So multiple different systems when it comes to electricity. Other than that, for lighting systems, of course, you got candles. So whether you get the bigger, bulkier candles, usually most of them are scented nowadays, and this is like a 50-hour candle from IKEA. You go to other stores like Hallmark stores or other stores that have candles, or even Fred Meyer's, Walmart, and all that. And then you got the bigger ones, and these are probably 50, 60-hour candles. So you can have the big candles, and you usually have a good scent, and after you have enough of them, it's lighting and maybe a little heat as long as no cold air is coming in your home. So then, but you also have tea light candles, $6, $7 nowadays for packs of 100. Usually tea light candles last about 2.5 hours on average, as long as there's nothing wrong with the wick of the candle. Or you can get even smaller packs, and some of them are even scented. These came from IKEA, so you can get like these kind of packs, and they're original and no scent, or scented versions as well. And then what can you use tea light candles? Not just for lighting the area, or so many of them will heat the area, but it's also, let me shift something. Here's a cast iron teapot set with a little stove thing, and it's heated up by a tea light candle. So that's what I mainly use all these tea light candles for, is to warm up cast iron teapot. This is something I did go over with my last video, but it's a really important thing. Having a cast iron teapot has so many functions. So you can make hot tea, hot water for dehydrated food packs. You can make hot water for not only hot tea, but for hot chocolate, hot apple cider packs, any kind of hot drink pretty much, except for maybe hot cocoa, unless you want to, warm up your milk with this process. So there's that, but then at the same time, not only is there the cast iron teapot to make hot drinks or have hot water to put in your Mountain House dehydrated food packs, or other brands, Peak Refuel or whatever, but then you can use it for cans as well, to cook your cans. Cans of soup, smaller cans, usually within 15-20 minutes it's cooked and all that, or bigger cans, it's about 45 minutes to an hour and it's fully cooked. Or cans of chili as well, that's probably 30 to 45 minutes worth. Now, I do want to mention something, because I saw a video recently on YouTube and it just blew me away that someone was so freaking stupid. They did not know, they took a big can of Campbell soup, they left the lid on, they put it on a stove top, heating up, and then left it there for like 45 minutes to an hour, and then opened the can, and the can exploded in their face, and they burnt their entire freaking, like half their face. They kind of looked like Two-Face, and I think they even singed off like some of their hair. It was like crispy. So if you're not aware, if you try to cook a can with the lid on it, it will explode after so long. So to cook the food properly, you take the can off first, then you put it over a heating source. Because if you leave it over a heating source for too long, it's pretty much a pressure cooker. So, and then you open it with pressure, it will explode, and it will burn you, and it will hurt. Don't be stupid. So take the damn lid off before you start cooking it up, like an open pot, and just stir it every now and then you leave it over a heat flame like this for too long, and then you'll probably even get it to boil. Then there's the other thing that I just thought of. You could reuse the can after you clean it out, rinse it out and everything, and reuse the can as like a mini little pot. So you could, if you have like top ramen packs and water, then maybe you do the cast iron teapot and warm the water up first. Start putting, break up the thing of top ramen or other noodles, put it in there, and then put the water in there and keep it over the candle and start stirring it up and stirring it up and let it warm up even more. Then you got even more hot soup, so you could reuse the cans for different things. So there are I've seen things on Amazon more recently. They have these like little small little lid things that if you get the proper kinds of like for canning, and it's the super thin top like this metal lid and everything, and then you put whatever food in there instead of doing the whole huge canning pot thing to push out all the pressure, and so it's airtight sealed. There's this little battery pack little lid thing you put on those jars, and it will suck out all the air, kind of like those airtight packs you put clothes or blankets in, and then you put a vacuum hose over it. Sucks out all the air and everything, and then it seals it airtight and compression. It's a similar process, but with jars, so you can get that on Amazon as well. So it's a good way, a newer form, as long as that device is charged, and so that having the battery packs or solar generator recharge it, and you can do up food, especially if you went and caught fish or hunted, got a deer, rabbit, whatever. You do all of it up and then you can it, and so you don't have to eat everything so quickly if you're trying to put more food away. Kind of like you see Emily Blunt doing in the A Quiet Place movie. When they're on a farm and everything, or they got some rabbit or deer or squirrel or whatever, and they do it all up, and she's doing old-fashioned canning. So this is a newer version of that. So other than that, from Tillamook Creamery in Oregon near the coast, I also got this, which is a little griddle thing, mainly to melt cheese, but it's over tea light candles. So so I can it's like a party clete to go Vienna. I guess you could use it to cook over candles, a little grill. It's almost like a little frying pan, like thin pieces of meat, little kebabs or something like that, and things like that. So you can grill things, have a little tiny grill using tea light candles. And I've got like 800 to 1,000 tea light candles. I've got multiple bags on the back of my my tea stand. So there's that. If I did have a solar generator of some kind, if I can't use my stove, and I don't want to use the entire stove or oven, I have a new wave oven, and that's normal oven heat, tornado kind of fan moving around, and IR heat. But it uses a lot of electricity. But so if I just need a stove top, I got a single brand new Toastmaster thing I got from Walmart for like 15-20 bucks. So that's a plug-in single, stovetop burner. So I could use that if I do have like a solar generator and it's all charged up, and and I want to use it to cook. The only other thing I could think of that would probably be a good idea is one of those hot plates. Plug-in hot plates would probably be a good idea to have as a backup. And it's either that, or do you have camping stuff with gas, with Coleman gas or something, a gas-powered stove or something like that, or any kind of fire pit with a grill, firebox folding camp stove, which I have in my bug out bag. I got a BioLite camp stove with a grill top and 6.5 liter kettle pot in a bug out bag that I'm trying to sell, and all of that. And then more recently, I upgraded a bit with a I believe it was 220 bucks for this version. It is a Go Sun Sport, so it can use the sun, but it does have a battery system where I can plug it in with like the cigarette lighter of my car, or into probably some kind of solar generator or something like that if it's nighttime and there's really no sun. So it's a foldable sun system, and you can set it up horizontal, or you can tilt it and make it vertical stand, so you have to like stand it up. It has a tube thing. It has a little sundial thing, so you can angle it with the sun and you get it dead on, so you know it's this straight line of shot. 1 second. And then you have a tube, put all your food in and everything, and depending on what you're cooking, you can have these little rubber things, if it's pieces of meat and all that kind of stuff, salmon or whatever, and so it's not on the metal tube itself. It has little rubber, heat silicone things that came with little pockets, and then but so I can cook daytime, the sun's out. I could cook nighttime, and then I did order an extra piece if I pull out the main cooking tube. They have smaller pocketed versions for backpacks and stuff. They have a larger version, feed an entire freaking family. It's like 2 to 3 times this size. It's like Go Sun Fusion oven. Has batteries built into it, so you could pre-charge it and everything, and all that kind of stuff. And I, for an extra piece, I bought this 15-20 bucks, and it's pretty much a solar kettle. So I could put water in there to whether boiled water or to boil the water to kill bacteria or whatever. I stick that in there and everything, and then let it cook and everything. So I can both cook food out in the sun, even if it's cloudy, if it's still bright out. It might take longer, it might take 2 or 3 times longer, but it will still concentrate the sunlight and it will absorb it and it will still cook. So, so there's a tube and everything. So this is like, this one specifically, Go Sun Stove Sport, because it's electronic, and then with the extra of this and with the carrying case, I think it was like 260-ish bucks. I got a military discount of like 10%, so, I spent like 230 altogether, I think. So that's a great way for off-grid cooking, whether you're using candles, using a cast iron teapot, you're using a little griddle thing, if you have some form of electricity to hook up, if you can't use your actual stove, electronic cooking devices, gas power, there's a variety of new off-grid stuff out there to use. So, you have higher quality off-grid natural disaster camping systems. You can use it for both recreational uses, or you can use it for off-grid, or you're hitting a hard time, but you still have good quality gear. When you had money, you bought this stuff, and it was in storage or garage or whatever, and then, now we're hitting a hard time, now we got kicked out on the street, or we were able to pay the rent or the mortgage, but now we're have to sort of live like we're camping using good high quality off-grid gear. So then when it comes to water, I would say is the next big step, and that is definitely without a shadow of a doubt look at getting yourself a water bob. It's like 35 bucks on Amazon, and then what this is you take this, and if a natural disaster happened, one of the very first things you need water. Water is one of the most important things. So this is a 100-gallon water container with a tube hand pump on the top. So you put it in your bathtub and then you fill it up with scalding hot water if you can, and then let it cool down. So hot water's better. It may not be contaminated if it's scalding hot, and then you have a hand pump once it cools down, get a few hours, and then you have an extra 100 gallons of water from your bathtub in a clean, rubbery water kind of a case thing, silicone or rubber or whatever it is, plastic case that's not contaminated. It's not just in the bathtub and what was in the bottom of the bathtub and how often do you clean it. If you can clean your bathtub beforehand, just in case as a backup, before you put this in, not a bad idea. But 35-buck water bob. If you have multiple bathtubs, get multiple of them from Amazon. Having those on hand. Then for more backup water, I have other things other than your juice or milk or soda or whatever you have. Sports and Warehouse, I have two 15-gallon water barrels in the back that were filled with scalding hot water. And they put the lid on it, sealed it, and left it alone. It's been there for probably about a year and a half now. I have a 5 gallon of the office cooler water jug thing I got from my younger brother, and had to get a silicone lid on it. That's filled. And then anytime that I get either alcohol bottles of any kind, margarita bottles, wine bottles, whiskey bottles, whatever, or any kind of cider bottles as well, I clean them. I rinse them out, put scalding hot water, dial soap in there, and then let it stay overnight, rinse it all out, let it dry out, and then put scalding hot water in it and then I have good quality containers for emergency water supply. And so, not including what we would have in the fridge from the store, I probably have 80 to 90 gallons already to, right off the bat of emergency water in mostly glass containers. If I'm able to fill up the water bob in the bathtub before water gets shut off, there's another 100 gallons, so 180, 190. They say per person per day, you should have 64 fluid ounces, which is what this is. This glass cider bottle container from Hillside Orchard Farms, after drinking all the cider and cleaning it out, this one bottle is for one person per day. That's how much they say you need, which is almost a gallon of milk, pretty much, a whole thing. Yes, you could probably do a little less, half of this, it would probably be fine per day. So this actually would probably last me about 2 days, and all that kind of stuff. So, and then I have all of these either underneath my kitchen sink, or in my living room area near the front door. There's all these shelves for like souvenir display things, and I have tons of these right behind it, ready to go. So preparedness when it comes to water, and then that also covers the idea that if a water bill is due and you can't afford to pay it, and your water gets shut off right before it gets shut off, you have water barrels. They even have 55-gallon drums, the 15 ones at Sports and Warehouse. I see them at places all over the state, from Facebook Marketplace, of smaller barrels, 5-gallon ones, 15-gallon ones, 55-gallon drums, all the way the huge ones the size of the table and about as tall as me versions, and heavy-duty plastic within a metal cage frame. Those are probably like 500-gallon ones or bigger, and all that kind of stuff for off-grid use and everything. So, and they sell them for pretty cheap. The stores sell them brand new, way more expensive. So I believe the 55-gallon blue water barrel drums at Sports and Warehouse is like $100. 15-gallon ones are like 50, 60. So but the more you prepare, the less stressed, worried, concerned, frightful you are. So something I tell my older brother: hey, if you hit these hard times, and it's like utilities or rent is most important. You always keep a roof over your head. It's better to be in a cold house or apartment, or trailer or whatever, than out in the middle of the outside in the wilderness, out in the elements. Having a shelter with solid walls and windows is more important than anything else. So if you can't afford to pay electricity or water, whatever, then don't pay those and let them be shut off, but have the stuff you need to still live and survive. Have your backup water, have your solar generators, have your off-grid cooking capabilities, have your backup batteries, have your headlamps, have your LED lights, little lantern things. I've got 4 of these, so I got one in the living room, one in the laundry room, one in the bathroom, and one in my mom's room. She uses this as like a nightlight every night to get up to go to the bathroom. So, or even a headlamp, hand cranking flashlights are good too. I prefer the ones either from Ivation or Secure, high quality ones or the higher quality, a little bit more expensive ones from Amazon. They're probably spending $50 to $80 for a good high quality AM, FM radio, LED light, alarm system, hand cranking flashlight that even holds extra electricity. You could probably even hook up those kind of things to these batteries or any other electronic device, a phone, while it's shut off, and be cranking and recharge it. But you're going to be cranking for a long while. So, and then they have even foot pedal with plug-ins that you can pedal and get some exercise and recharge your electronic devices. Probably better when they're shut off. They'll charge faster. So there's all these different things to be thinking about. So it's emergency preparedness. You got to think of a variety of things. Hygiene stuff. Do you have extra toothpaste? Do you have extra bars of soap or body wash? Do you have extra toothpaste, extra mouthwash, maybe some extra toothbrushes as backups? Floss and all that, all hygiene stuff, spray deodorant, real deodorant, dude wipes. So maybe you don't have the water on, you're not going to be taking showers and baths, so maybe you need baby wipe kind of stuff like dude wipes or whatever, or some kind of sponge bath. You use a little tiny water on, an actual like a washcloth or sponge for the body, and you clean yourself, or can you you have like a good high quality towel, and if they're nearby like creek or something, you can clean, and then you get the environmentally friendly both laundry detergent or body wash soap or shampoo that's like non-scented, so you're not eaten by bugs. You get that from like Cabela's, Bass Pro Shop, and all that kind of stuff. So then you have first aid, getting some first aid stuff on hand, and having maybe ones in the kitchen and the bathroom and in your vehicle and all that kind of stuff. And then, if you have to leave your home, do you have camping gear, and all that. If the electricity shut off, it also means you probably don't have heat. So things to think about when it comes to heat is that, having good high quality, both summer, winter combo clothing gear, having good heavy coats and light coats, whether it's summer or winter, having good high quality gloves and knit cap and maybe scarves or whatever, sweatshirts, all that kind of stuff, the higher quality stuff. So having good footwear, good tennis shoes, primary and backups, good boots, primary and backups that have already been worn in and maybe not hiking with and all that. So they're already pre-worn in right after you get them. Wear them several times. Go for a walk. Go for a hike. Have good quality clothing and gear. These are some of the highest quality gloves, winter gloves that I have ever had. They're called the brand name is Churchill. They're from Chehalis, Washington, so about like 2 hours north of here. And these ones specifically, the specific model is called Maverick-C. The C stands for the Sherpa in it. Otherwise, if it was just Maverick, it would be just the deer skin leather. And they're about $80 to $100 gloves. I have a primary pair in my coat, my winter coat, and then I have a backup in my bug out bag. Some of the best gloves I've ever had, well worth the money. I've been on a military nighttime firing range in Fort Carson, Colorado, in negative 10 degree winter weather with a foot of snow, and my hands never got cold. So amazing gloves. Churchill is the brand, and this specific model. They have other models that go up the sleeve, longer ones, little ones with no fingers and all that, whether it's just leather, there's Sherpa in it, the ones with Sherpa and all that. So, and they're very flexible. They're almost like work gloves, but super warm because of the Sherpa inside. $80 to $100 gloves, and I've got 2 pairs. So, and then maybe even like combat work gloves with the hard Kevlar knuckles for actual doing work on things, and all that would be good too. So, and then that's warmth. Having heavy duty, the thick Korean blankets or other blankets and stuff. Make sure you have good, blankets and sheets and all that. If the heat got shut off and everything, electricity and heat got shut off. Having, high quality, for good cold weather, maybe even 0 to 5 degree sleeping bags for each family member, each person of the household as well. So this is a 0 to 5 degree sleeping bag in a Sea to Summit stuff sack that I have in storage ready for my mother. And then I've already got one of these that's a part of my bug out bag. That's a Enlightened Equipment, high quality, super lightweight, pricey quilt sleeping system from Enlightened Equipment, if you want to check that out. That was personalized to me, double thickness on the exterior, normal thickness on the interior, dark green like that on the exterior, but traffic cone like orange on the interior, so I could even use it as like a VS17 signal panel if need be. So, and that's in a Sea to Summit stuff sack, my bug out bag as well. So, let's see, what else? Off-grid stuff. Other things that I would definitely get into, so like I was talking about blankets and sheets, so warmth and all that, but what about doing laundry? Maybe even getting some, the eco-friendly, won't harm the environment, if things of powdered laundry detergent, or if there is liquid but it's not environmentally friendly, you might have to do your laundry in a creek or whatever. I talked about this in my first video, and there are newer off-grid mini little the compact versions, a little bit bigger versions, whether it be foot pedal or it be hand crank horizontal or hand crank vertical of off-grid washers and dryers. Washer versions, Easy Wash, that's a hand crank for $70. Nina Soft, between 140 to 220, 22 pound. GentleWash.com, 350, I believe that's the vertical hand crank. And Yurego, Yirego drum, Yurego drum, and that is like a sphere thing with a plastic cylinder with a foot pedal. You put it on the ground, and after you're done, you drain it in like a bathtub or whatever, drain the excess water. You can even spin dry it by foot pedal. And then I've seen these on YouTube of newer things that I kind of want one of each, of like say a non-snag indoor retractable clothesline. And so it has these like a hard cube and an extra little component, has adhesive, you put them up above your like bathtub or whatever, and then the cube has a bunch of wire in it. You grab it, it's retractable, so you grab it and then you put them in certain places, kind of like a solid curtain rod that you're unfolding and extending out to tighten, and so it holds it in place. It's very similar, but so adhesive, little cube box, and then a retractable cord, and then it goes and hooks into the other side. And that's from Amazon, and those are like, depending on the size you need, $20 to $30. Something that's really cool that caught my eye is a collapsible tripod drying rack, foldable laundry stand with 16 bamboo pull-out racks for $80. It's Italian design, and so what it is there's this cylinder tube. 3 bamboo wooden leaves come out, and so it's like a tripod, like a triangle tripod, and then the cylinder, then there's these 16 bamboo rods that come up, fold down, and then it sits kind of like a table or a sunflower, and then so you have these 16 bamboo rods that stick out in a circle, and then you can hang your clothes over them. Otherwise, go old school, get clothesline clips, the clothesline strings, and 2 like 4x4 two 4x4 put in the ground, and go old school clothesline, or metal, you can do as well. So there's some extra ideas for doing your laundry. How can you still do laundry if like natural disaster happens, no electricity, can't use washer and dryers and all that kind of stuff, or you're going off grid or going camping or whatever, so let's see what else. If what about toilet stuff? So like I said, toiletry, personal hygiene for both men and women and pets, having primary, maybe some backup stuff. I've got like 10 to a dozen homemade soap bars. I have a little body wash for my mom bottles. I've got multiple things of deodorant, 3 or 4 things of toothpaste, a big bottle of like Listerine that'll last a long while. So I usually have primaries and a couple of backups. I have my primary, like 2 different toothbrushes, one powered, one normal, and then I go to the dentist every 6 months. And then when I get seen, they ask me, "Do you want the like free toothbrush and dental floss and all that?" And I always say yes. I usually hand out once I have several of them. I hand out a couple to like friends and family members if they want them for free. So, but then other than hygiene, like baby wipes or dude wipes or whatever, which you use to clean yourself or wipe your butt. What happens? Water goes down and stuff. Then unless you have a lot of extra water that you can use to flush a toilet, you may need a backup source. Now, my mother, who's disabled, has a commode, so she could go in that, and then I could go walk far away from my apartment out in the wilderness somewhere and probably, dump it, probably different locations after a few times and never just the same location so it doesn't build up and smell. Usually it's, downrange, downwind or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. But then as a backup, I went ahead to Sports and Warehouse. I forget how much this costs, I don't remember, but a flush and go camping toilet system that sits pretty high with the bottom portion is a containment unit. So having like a good, or it could be one of those buckets with the a toilet sealant lid or something, but it's like a toilet seat and all that. You get that from Sportsman Warehouse too. And so I might have to put some liquid in it and everything, but other than that, having this stuff is good, peeing and pooping or whatever. But then I'm also prepared, so we have a back balcony, and then so what I would use, if need be, is for privacy, but also to keep the camping toilet smell and everything outside. I would probably set up this Rhino outdoor pop-up privacy tent, and then put the camping toilet in that, and then possibly at the same time I could use that, or just use the entire back balcony to get some kind of solar shower. This is 20 liters, and it's better than nothing. I do know that they do make bigger versions. I know REI stores has like Nemo. There's multiple brands. This is SOL, Survival Outdoor Longer 20-liter solar shower. So you put it out in the sun, you hang it up and let it sit out in the sun. In an hour, it probably have scalding hot water. 20 liters, I mean, maybe one person for a quick couple-minute shower, then it's done. So, but you can get bigger versions. I've seen versions that's a Nemo one that's about this size. That's probably like 80 to 100 liters right there of solar shower. Even some with like a pressure hand pump thing, that you can use, and all that kind of stuff. So, so there's good for hygiene. Now, whether it's in the pop-up tent and then zippers in the bottom that will let it all leak out, and then it will flow outside because the bottom of my back balcony barrier wall, there's holes in the bottom, so then the water just leaks out outside. But another thing I'm looking at doing is maybe getting a 1 or 2 like military camouflage nets from this one website, like 40-50 bucks. And the size dimensions, having 2 of them, and it would be able to completely cover my car, which means it could also be used to cover my balcony, and so more privacy on my balcony too. So there's another thing I want to look at, getting myself at some point for more preparedness. And then you can get off-grid like rechargeable camping fans, like Saker, Saker, Saker rechargeable camping fan for like 140 bucks. That Nemo solar heated camp shower is like 160 from REI. you could get heavy duty lanterns and everything with some with built-in AM/FM radios. Um, you know, you get there's so many off-grid stoves now. The BioLite, the Firebox. BioLite has a variety of stoves. One of them is a Eco Zoom Versa rocket stove. So you add fuel to the fire from the side, and then it's a rocket stove. And there's another way of cooking and just using whatever sticks or twigs are in the area. You know, having a good, some kind of good knife sharpener to use any of your bladed weapons. They're going to need to be resharpened after a while. So a great new system that I want to get myself for 130 bucks on Amazon. Tumbler rolling knife sharpener. It looks really awesome. A great system. So let's see what else. For other emergency preparedness, I currently in my bug out bag have 2 walkie-talkie radios. They can really take a beating and everything, but they're not like you probably 10-15 miles. If there's hills or mountains, you're not going to get a straight line of shot, a good signal. They're probably going to be good for 6-7 miles or whatever. So there's this newer version that I want to get, super high quality digital radios. They're called Rapid radios. They are expensive. A 2-pack is, so for 2 of them, for a pair, 400 bucks. 3-pack is 550. 4-pack is 700, and 6-pack is 900. Don't know if they do military discount. And what these are is they have 5-day battery pack supply, so they can fully charged. They'll be last for 5 whole days. Unlimited range walkie-talkies, and so what? As long as there's satellites up in the atmosphere still, civilization hasn't fully gone away. Then you could have one person with one of these radios in Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska, and the other person in the tip of Florida, anywhere in the continental United States. And as long as satellites are still up there and they're charged and they work, and you set, you turn them on and they're set on a specific channel, you could talk anywhere in the world, no matter the distance within the continental United States. So Alaska to Florida, or Washington State to Florida, or Southern California to New York. You could say in permanent communication as long as they're powered and on the right channel and turn on at the same time and you're talking. So they're pricey, but they're worth it. I want to hopefully get a pack of 4 here soon in the near future, several $100s worth, to have one in my car, one here with my mother at all times. There's no monthly subscription. You buy them, and just power them and turn them on, and you guys can stay in communication with anybody. That's another way you could possibly go off grid, stay in contact with someone, get rid of your phone if you want to. If you're only talking to like a specific a couple of people, how many radios do you need? And then just keep them charged, figure out days and times to turn them on to talk. It's almost like going old school ham radio, kind of thing. And so you get them, and then give them to the people who you want to stay in contact. As long as they hopefully live and survive the natural disaster or whatever, they get it, they turn it on. You tell them, I'll be checking it if there's a disaster at 8 p.m. every day. I'll be turning it on for like an hour. So from 8 to 9, try to, if you find your radio and you survive, turn it on and contact me and let me know you're okay. So there's that. Let's see, anything else? Water, something else that I want to get here in the near future from Life Straw, the filter straws that you see everywhere. I've got some Life Straws themselves, individual straws. I've got some Life Straw water bottles, the metal big containers. I could use that to like cook or boil water or whatever. But Life Straw has a multitude of like bigger water jugs with filter membranes and carbon filters. The carbon filters do like 6 to 1,000 gallons, but the membranes do tens of thousands of gallons. But eventually you will need to replace it. They have a new one for like 330 bucks on their website called a Life Straw Escape Barrel. It's like 5 1/4. It's almost like a keg, is what it is. It's like a keg, and it's like holds 5 1/4 gallons of water. You have the membrane and the carbon filter. Carbon filter is like 600. It'll filter safely 600 gallons, but the membrane can go through like 18,000 gallons. So they say it can last, if you continuously change out, have backup of the carbon filters all the way for the entire time the membrane lasts. That's enough for 4 people for per day for like 5 years. So, and it has this, so you fill it up and put the dirty water, then put the lid on it, the membrane and all that, where the pour spout is, and then there's this hand pump, and it uses air pressure and all that. Then there's this 50 gallon or liter, I think it's 50 liter, bigger water jug barrel container on a tripod platform, and have a hand pump using pressure. That filters like 26,000 gallons safely and everything before the membrane stuff needs to be changed out. That's the LifeStraw Community autofill water jug. That's about $400. And then the LifeStraw Max hooks up to like a hose or a big water tank if you have one off grid, or to a hose that's attached to a well. And this, and then you get all the parts and components and filters and membranes, and after so many years, switching them out, and this will filter all of that. That thing does like 100,000 gallons. So, and that's like $650 for the LifeStraw Max water filter. So, one of the other things I want to get myself for off-grid capabilities, and that's for like bug out bag. I'm getting older. I just turned 40 at the end of this past August 2025, and I have a 65-pound survival bug out bag, and I keep making it better and better, but it is heavy. And so, to help myself to be able to still carry good gear, I'm looking at when I get a hands-free Hipstar is the name of it, the brand, Hipstar hands-free travel cart. It's Amazon's 500. I think it's about the same for the website, but then there's all these little accessory components, and what it is, it's pretty much like a bicycle trailer, and then you buy the harness system that's like belted and shoulder straps and all that, and then you attach to the trailers, so you're carrying a heavy like book bag or backpack, survival gear or hiking backpack. So you're pulling it with your body, but the heavy gear is not on your back, on your shoulders, killing yourself. So I definitely want to get that. They have accessories for a multitude of things with like hand brakes for the side, that the rods that stick out from the trailer. You can get a accessory to attach the Hipstar trailer to a bicycle as well. There's a variety of different accessories they have. You can even have this, it's like a draped over sheet over the metal frame, and then you can have exterior pockets, to hold more stuff, as well on the exterior portion of the Hipstar trailer frame. So, and then there's they have cargo strap stuff, so you don't just throw your bag on there, but they have the buckle straps to strap it down. So, definitely want to get myself that eventually. Probably want to get some kind of, just as a backup and for warmth and everything, or cooking, some kind of outdoor camping stove, whether it be from the BioLite, a rocket stove, or maybe this Bigfoot bushcraft fire pit that's foldable. That's $100. And then I think that's about everything. So yeah, I think I just talked about everything I wanted to go over. And so there's a bunch of ideas for off-grid capabilities, being more prepared, which we're having more frequent and more extreme natural disasters of some shape or form, whether it be forest fires, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes. Sometimes asteroids and meteors fall from the sky and cause damage. You just never know. Flash floods, mudslides are having more frequent because of all the forest fires and the burnt trees and forests. So it's like, some kind of disaster, or, civil unrest and rioting and pillaging and all that. So mankind is, doing bad stuff in your area. So, if either, can't pay your bills because everybody's getting laid off, but you have enough money You can not pay your utilities and have electricity and heat and water shut off because you're very prepared, and you get to fill up your water bob in the as many bathtubs as you have before the water actually gets cut off. And then hopefully, having all this prepared, emergency ration food, peak refuel, the 5-gallon buckets, or even individual packs and everything, and then like Nutri-Green bars and Cliff bars and oatmeal packs and all that kind of stuff, a variety of things, dehydrated cylinder of the fruits and vegetables, even chicken and beef in meats, powdered peanut butter, powdered honey, dehydrated fruits and vegetables, dehydrated powdered milk, all that, already purified, healthy, water that you have in barrels and jugs, and water filters and lifestyle filters to go out and collect more water from a creek, a pond, a river, whatever, and then but still filter them, and maybe even a Go Sun kettle pot thing or a BioLite kettle pot to boil the water after it's all been filtered and drink, and then you could still have hot drinks, hot tea, a hot soup, hot chili, cook things like eggs and stuff, or meat products or fish or whatever you catch, collecting berries and everything, doing a variety of different things. So and you have things to cook and first aid and backup hygiene to last you a long while, whether it be weeks, months, or maybe even a year or two. It's kind of like if the Cascadia subduction zone in the Pacific Northwest goes off. They said that our environment, depending on how badly a 8 to 9.0 earthquake hits, for about 5 whole minutes and damages things and fires and all that kind of stuff, and roads are damaged and all that, you may need to live off the wilderness, off the grid, off the river, off the creeks, and you're hunting and fishing and all that, and canning, and being able to have the off-grid devices to cook and still be able to, and summer winter combo clothing and good gloves and good coats and good shoes or boots, and heavy duty, both light and heavy duty for summer and winter for when it's hot or freezing cold, having all the proper gear, and having for your home and for your house or for your apartment or for your vehicle, or and backup solar panels and wind turbines to recharge the solar generators, and all that kind of stuff, hand cranking flashlights and everything, and headlamps. All these different things are important, and the more you have and the better quality gear and primaries and backups, the less worried, the less scared, less stressful, less anxiety and depression you will have. You're like, hey, we're good. You're going to be one of those people who have like a nuclear bomb shelter, like an Atlas doomsday underground bomb shelter with, and you're going to live comfortably, and a good amount of food ration, hopefully some off-grid, plants and animals, or what do you call those things? It's with the fish and everything, aquaponics. Like aquaponics, or good lighting for indoor plants to keep growing, rosemary and all that kind of stuff, or other things, tomatoes or whatever, but potatoes, all that kind of stuff. So, this is just a variety of ideas of to have on hand. It's utility bill life hacks, how to save money here and there, how to keep penny pinching, how to tighten the notches on the belt during hard times. But the more preparedness stuff you have, covering all your different environments, all your categories, like kitchen stuff, living room stuff, bathroom stuff, hygiene stuff, first aid stuff, summer winter combo clothing, and laundry stuff, and blankets and sheets and all that, then we can live kind of like the Amish do, or like our ancestors did before electricity was even a thing. And live off candles, and we will be spoiled with hand cranking flashlights and solar generators, but we can go more off grid. So I think that's all that I have. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it really helps you. We're about to end, and the summer's about to end in like 2 weeks, and then we're hitting the fall and holiday season. So everybody think ahead, be prepared, stay safe, take care of yourself and your family and your pets. You know, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. If you really like it, make some comments, give me suggestions for the future, and I really hope you like this newer utility bill life hack / emergency preparedness thinking ahead topic category. So, all right, you guys have a good day and take care.